If you're a brand new real estate agent and you're looking to absolutely crush it this year, this is going to be the only interview that you need to watch. This is by far one of the greatest interviews that I've ever done. I'm bringing on Tharmila, a brand new agent from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, who has absolutely crushed it within the first few months of being in the business. Not only is she getting actively 2 to 4 clients a day from her leads and her conversations, she's closed multiple transactions, double-ended deals, and has a foundation that most agents 10 years in the business don't even have to this day. And the craziest part is she's a mom of 2 with a full-time job, and again is in the most saturated market in Canada. So what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna bring Tharmila on, and she's gonna break down step by step exactly what she did to build momentum that I haven't even seen before, and how you can start doing the same. So stay tuned, bust out your pen and paper, take some notes, because if you execute on what's shared in this video, you are going to be set up with a blueprint to make you a top producer in your very first year. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode where today we've got on a new agent who's absolutely been crushing it. So this is Tharmila from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, who's actually in our group, and she's been flourishing as a new agent. And today what we want to talk about is a number of tactical things that new agents can do to build the sort of momentum that seems to be rare in the industry that Tharmila has been able to do, where she's generating leads on a daily basis effectively and efficiently using a database and CRM to nurture leads and to convert them. So I'm incredibly excited for this. This is going to be one that's going to help you immensely. So Tharmila, welcome to the video.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much, Mark, for making time to meet with me. I can't wait to share some awesome, cool ideas with you.
Yeah, I'm excited because, you know, we've kind of seen you get your license, get into the industry, and you've been building up, you know, such an incredible trajectory. So for people who don't know you, and again, Tharmila does have a great YouTube channel. So guys, I will link that in the description of the pinned comment below. Make sure you check that out. But for people who don't yet know you, why don't you just give a quick short introduction of who you are, and then we'll get straight into the tactical, actionable tips.
Awesome, thanks. I really started in the industry as an investor. My husband and I started investing in Toronto and some parts of the GTA a couple of years ago. And once we started investing and wanting to get out and joint venture with people and going to, you know, live events and meet up at the time when we were allowed to go to them, I started meeting people to joint venture, and people started asking, okay, let's try this out. Can you help me purchase this such and such property? I'm also an investor. And my husband and I realized we were missing out on an opportunity to help people close on these transactions as well. So we got our license. I officially obtained my license at the beginning of October. And, you know, once you get your license, you feel like you have it all. You had access to all these contacts. And then once you get your license, yes, you have access to this handful of contacts, but now what? And I think, I'm not sure if you know, but I do have another full-time job outside of being a realtor. I work for a municipality in Ontario as a marketing consultant. So for me, you know, being in the field in marketing for a number of years, I thought, you know what, I'm going to put together a marketing plan. I'm going to put together a business plan, and I'm going to look at ways how I can scale my business from the beginning, knowing that I'm going to get results. And I think that I owe it all to really some of the feedback and some of the strategies that I was able to pull from Agent Wolfpack Group and some of the, you know, the courses and things you've had targeting realtors.
Yeah, it's been incredible to see you get into here, and you know, a lot of people struggle with learning the marketing, but the fact that you had a good foundation, you know, has really helped. So, you know, you got in, you built this momentum. How the heck did you do it? Because a lot of people get in and, you know, they don't close a deal for 6 months, or they don't get any leads for 6 months. And, you know, I still know agents that have been in the industry for 10 years that don't use a CRM and a database. So from getting started, getting your license, flicking it active, to the point where you are now, where you can share some of the results you've gotten, what were some of the things you did along the way to build this kind of momentum and a continuous lead flow?
Yeah, a couple of things. I think once I first became an agent and had access to your weekly mastermind group, I started tuning in, and I knew a little bit about kvCORE. A lot of people talked about it before I even joined EXP. I realized that there was an opportunity there, and people talked about the mammoth, like this crazy CRM, kvCORE, and I kind of understood it. I lightly looked at it, but and the fact that I really liked it because it's one tool that holds your website, lead gen, CRM, and I really liked that. And I started looking into it, and I watched a couple of your videos, and I looked at some of our team group meetings, and I started taking training videos, and I realized, okay, I'm already out there doing YouTube videos. I'm out there doing tons of social media posts on my Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And now I felt like there was a missing part that connected all of them, and that was my database. So I started, once I looked at kvCORE and what the capability of it is, people, that's the thing, it's not just a CRM tool. It's a tool that pulls in leads for you. And the crazy thing about kvCORE that I love the most is that it was pulling in all these leads, but then I could add in this automation, which was the drip campaign. And like I told you, I have another full-time job. I am a mom of 2 young babies. I have tons of different things that my hands were in, and I'm a new realtor. So I first wanted to find out what this field was like. I didn't want to jump into it too fast. Again, not make any deals and things fall apart. So I needed to have a plan. So I wanted to keep the momentum going online. So, you know, putting out posts, going to showings, going to different properties, you know, getting permission to promote some of the properties that I wasn't even listing. And then the missing part for me was really getting all these leads and putting them in one place, and then have a kick-ass follow-up game. And kvCORE did that for me.
Yeah, it's been amazing. And why don't you share some of the results that you've gotten from kvCORE, just to give people some context in terms of like the volume of what you've been able to generate very quickly?
Yeah, you won't believe it. I actually get 2 to 4 leads, active leads from kvCORE. And when I say active, I mean, these are people that are responding directly to my drip campaign. So in kvCORE, you can integrate a drip campaign that is automatic. So the moment a lead comes in through one of your ads, they get text messages, calls, and you can embed like an email that goes directly to them saying, hey, and it's also customizable. And the moment they respond back, it's now your turn to jump in and follow up with them. So I love that part about it. I have right now 190 leads. Officially, I checked this morning on kvCORE database, 8 clients, Mike. That's insane. I know. I have 8 clients, all sitting in my kvCORE. And I'm at a point right now, I'm looking at virtual assistants to help me with follow up, because I literally ignored about maybe 6 or 8 clients who needs help with leads because I don't have time.
Yeah, that's a pretty incredible position to be in as a new realtor, looking for support, because most are begging for leads or transactions. So I think that's absolutely incredible. Now, you know, kvCORE is a robust system, and there's a lot of other CRMs out there. What, you know, from start to finish, what does the journey look like for you in terms of generating leads? Are you starting with Facebook ads and integrating them into kvCORE? What type of Facebook ads are you running? Kind of walk people through step by step from start to finish, from getting the lead and then actually nurturing them with some of the different features you've been using.
You know, Mike, I'm a 10X person, so I'm not going to lie to you. I've been doing lots of different things to attract these leads. Number one massive things that's automated right now is the property boost and Facebook ads. Some of them are some of the Facebook ads that you've suggested. So automatically, the moment I got my first listing, which was through a Facebook ad that you've suggested, it was a personal Facebook ad that I did promoting myself. I had my first ever listing client that came through that. And I took that and I ran for it. And I took this listing, I did a coming soon ad from one of your templates. I used some of your templates to do the just listed. And then I took that same listing, and honestly, that property wasn't even that glamorous. It was literally a condo in Scarborough, an old condo, but I didn't care. I got some kick-ass virtual tour, some video photography, because that reflected on my brand. So I literally started doing ads targeting to investors because it was a furnished property. It was a small enough property that was great for first-time home buyers. So I did ads using your templates. And then I generated 3 leads that directly contacted me. So I put them into my CRM. So that was one. Second, I did the property boost on that exact same property that generated automatic leads that got directly into CRM. So kvCORE pulled them in. And then once that property was sold, it was sold in 9 days, but again, by the time you do paperwork, it was really taken off the market in 11 days. And what I did was I contacted some other agents and I started boosting some other properties that were some of the areas that I was targeting. So, and that started pulling in from kvCORE again, that property boost within kvCORE, right? Started pulling in directly, building my CRM, and I got leads again. There was one time, I'm not kidding you, and I could show you this, a screenshot. I had 14 leads in one day. It was insane. I know, it's pretty crazy. So that was another areas that I was kind of pulling in leads. And then again, some of them, it's my YouTube videos and putting out my social media. I had people message me through stories, and I put out a buyer's guide, again, using some of your templates for sellers and buyer's guide. I put an ads out for those. So it's a number of different things. So I meant it when I said 10x, because I put out video once a week on YouTube, and I'm not really good at videos, and it's all new to me, and I'm just kind of going with the flow, trying to find my personality. And I'm as you can see, I'm a very fast-paced talker. So I have to find a way to kind of find out what my brand is online and figure out a way to help people and help people close the deals. Like the way you put it, more money in less time.
That's amazing. You remind me exactly of myself when I got started back in 2017, because I was either going to make it or I was going to be homeless. There was no in between. I'm going all in. And I think, you're such a super mom for having so much on the go, but doing everything. And I think it's extremely admirable to see that you've taken this omnipresent approach of being everywhere at once. And I think that's something that I did too, that really helped build momentum, is that no matter where people are looking, any potential buyer, seller, and investor, you're going to be in front of them. And I also admire, and I think anybody listening should really take note of this, the fact that you went above and beyond to reach out to other people. I think there's a lot of people that say, I have no business, I have no listings, I have nothing to do. Whereas you took the approach of saying, hey, I have no listings, but other people do. They might not be as strong at marketing. I am. So let's see if I can bring a buyer, because at the end of the day, which listing agent doesn't want a buyer to be brought to their property? So I think it's absolutely incredible to see that you've just taken this very bullish approach of going all in on every platform. Now, with the CRM, you kind of mentioned that that's been the hub of your business. And, for new agents, what's kind of your advice there in terms of making that a core foundation? Because I think so many agents say, well, I don't need a CRM or a database until I've got X amount of clients. I'm just going to forget about it right now. And then a year goes past and they still don't get it. And then 2 years go past. And then you start to hear these top producers that are doing hundreds of millions in volume a year say, they rely on their sphere, they rely on their database. And there's a massive disconnect between what agents come in the business and try to do and what they skip out on, and what the biggest, most successful agents are actually doing. So what does that look like to you in terms of making this a core foundation of your business?
Absolutely. You know what? That's a really good question. I'm in kvCORE multiple times a day. I'm going through my leads and looking at their journey. And this is a crazy thing. I'm not familiar with a lot of other CRM, but kvCORE, my goodness, you're kind of spying on people. I can honestly, Mike, right now, if you sign into my website, you look at a property, every time you look at a property on my site, I can tell you, it shows me as the agent first. And now every time you look at a property, it looks like I'm the one who's listing it. Bonus. And second, every time you look at a property, it gives me a summary saying, okay, Mike came back in 14 days, and it gives me a text message, so like in real time. So while you're looking at properties, while you're top of mind, I'm giving you a call saying, hey, I've noticed that you looked at such and such property, and they're all within the ranges of 600 townhouses. Can I help you? Can I go show them to you? They're actually in mid-market for 3 to 5 days, and they've been selling fast. And it's a hot market in Toronto. I'm not sure if you know, things are flying. Literally, the properties that aren't, honestly, it's insane. And so I think that's the part where the opportunity is for me, is that having a tool that is constantly keeping things organized for you, helping you plan ahead, and helping you with that follow-up. And I think that's where a lot of agents I've noticed, and myself, I got really nervous about, is that how do I follow up? And I think I even posted in our social media group, our mastermind, like our Agent Wolfpack private group, asking you guys, like, how do you follow up? Like, how does that follow up look like without coming off too strong, and also trying to really be a leader and help people out in their transaction? And I think kvCORE does that for me. And I mentioned this to you earlier, and if you take kvCORE away from me right now, my business will fall apart. because I integrated all my tactics, my marketing tactics, whether it's print. I also put out 500 door hangers. Like, I did a lot of different things for people to get to my website. And that's all I wanted, Mike. The moment they got to my website, CRM, kvCORE is going to pull them in, right? And boom, I got it, right? Like, I needed people to get to my website so that it's all automatically pulled into my CRM. So every person that visited, logged into my website, now I have a lead. And now the moment they respond to my drip campaign, now I have an active lead. The moment I respond to them and they respond back to me, now I have a client, right?
Yeah, that's, it's so impressive to see, the maturity of your style of business for being in for such a short amount of time. And, I think a lot of people, especially during 2020 when the pandemic happened, their business was hanging on by a thread, and that thread got snipped. And that's because they didn't have a foundation that carried their business forward. They were kind of going day to day, and they were kind of winging it and, just taking clients as they come and not nurturing them, hoping they're going to reach out. But I think, you've built a recession and, pandemic proof business by actually going the extra mile to, learn how to properly build the foundation the right way that's proven to be done by the most successful agents. So before we get into one of my last questions, the last thing I want to ask is, if a new agent is just getting their license today, what would your advice be to them, whether it be, starting to run ads, whether it be finding a CRM and doing X, Y, and Z? For a new agent starting today, what's kind of your best advice to get them kind of, hopefully, the momentum you've been able to achieve, or at least a fraction of it?
I'm not going to lie to you. I told you I've joined the industry as a new realtor. I've never been to any other brokerage except for EXP. And I think that's it. I made the right decision to join the right brokerage that had the right tools. I paid for things that made sense for me. I paid for a website that pulls in, that's connected to my CRM. It's my lead gen tool, like everything in one. And it's, I think it all starts with making the right decision up front, making sure you're surrounded by the right people that are, and I've noticed this about the industry. I think I posted a video just recently about talking to my mentor, and he even said, in our industry, people aren't receptive just giving away information. Nobody wants to help anybody out. And I feel like, I'm not going to lie to you, Mike, I feel like I belong in your group. I feel like I belong in a place where other realtors across the world are looking to mentor and help you out. And I think that's my number one, advice to people, is that surround yourself with people with strategies and things that are trending, things that are going to work, that are, high converting. And I think that's the most important. And second, make sure you have a business plan. Like, make sure you have a 6 month to a 3-year plan, a hardcore thing that you're going to do. And that isn't all dependent on social media, Instagram post, and do multiple things, do different things, and make sure they're all connected to, coming back to your clients. And, be real, be honest, and in between when you're working with clients, because attracting clients is one thing. Now, how do you keep building your business off of having a good product or services, right? And I think, to me, that's the most important. Make sure I'm literally, I got my license at the beginning of October. I'm 100 plus days in, over 190 leads, 8 clients. I have a full-time job. I'm not gonna kid you. I work every evenings after 7 p.m. once my kids go to sleep. I work every weekends, 15 to 20 hours. And I'm constantly ensuring I'm top of mind. And I think and I'm in Toronto, we're super competitive. So for those people of agents that are coming in, that are in other parts of the city where it's not as saturated, bingo, take my model, join a kick-ass brokerage like EXP, go with it, and you're gonna succeed, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. I want you to be my sponsor. It's incredible. But, there's a couple of things that I want to unpack there that I think are really important for people to understand, which is having a well-structured business plan, because what you can't measure, you can't improve on. And a lot of people, again, say that, they're just going to get their license, work 100 hours a week and go guns a-blazing. But if you're trying to go from A to B and you're going, in every which direction, you're never going to get there. It's going to take, years longer than it could have if you had a plan that you can break down, reverse engineer, and take action on little wins, little milestones that inch you towards, instead of saying, the biggest mistake I see every agent come into the business do is they come in and they say, Mike, I want to do 24 deals this year. I had an agent who actually called me the other day who said, Mike, I'm a brand new agent. I want to do 21 deals a month. And, number one, that's not happening. Number two, with 24 deals a year, which is more reasonable for somebody ambitious, how are you actually going to do that? Because theoretically, 2 deals a month sounds ideal, but what are you going to do to actually make that happen? And I love that you say not just relying on an Instagram post, because again, you and I have very similar styles of business. I was posting every day on Instagram, but I was also launching YouTube videos, and I was also running Facebook ads, and I was also door knocking. And I think you need to have a multifaceted business, because if you depend on something that takes time to actually attract business, you're not going to be getting to where you want to be. And a lot of people are saying, well, Mike is getting his business from Instagram, so if I come in and post like him, I can do it too. Well, yeah, but I've spent 4 years building a business and a brand relentlessly. And I love that you've taken this approach that, I feel like by the time your anniversary comes up, your 1 year anniversary, you're going to be one of very few people who's going to be able to look back and reflect and say, there's nothing I could have done more. And I think that's one thing that a lot of new agents are lacking, is that they're trying what they want to try, not what they need to do. So that kind of segues into our final conversation, because again, I think you are developing into an incredible leader and a role model in the industry. Why did you decide to join this company? And, what has it done for kind of your future perspective on what's going to happen with your business?
I'm going to tell you, Horn, a little bit. My husband is a big YouTube fan, and all we do is watch people like you, Brian Casella and Grant Cardone. And we started off as investors, so we were watching all these videos to kind of give us an umph into that industry. And then once we became realtors, it naturally made sense that all these people that we were watching were people that were talking about real estate. And then I was introduced to EXP through you, and we were watching, and my husband said, hey, my husband's also in the process of getting his license. He finished his last course last week, so hopefully fingers crossed very soon. And we were introduced to EXP because you were talking about something that was futuristic and very state of the art. It was very, and I love something that was redefining and changing the industry. And that's what about EXP that changed for me, is the moment you said cloud-based, and the moment you talked about technology and taking it to another level where everything's integrated. I think you were speaking my language. And I'm in an industry, even doing marketing, things are changing day by day by day. No one resonates with tactics the same way we've done in the past. You can't plaster on a flyer on a hoarding and fingers crossed people will call you, right? It doesn't work that way anymore. And I think that when you started talking about social media on another level, and I think people had access to resources in a way like, put out a Facebook post or create a YouTube channel and you'll get people. But I love the way you had information in a way that was easily practical and actionable. And I think ultimately, we heard a lot of information out there, but nothing seemed realistic and put into action the way that you had mentioned. So the moment you talked about EXP, I've never heard of such brokerage in my life. All I've ever heard of was Remax, Century 21, name it, right? And these were like the big monsters, realty brokerages that are in and around us in Toronto. So when I heard of EXP and I realized how much they were taking over the market online, that's sparked my interest. And I'm at a point right now, I would have never thought this. And I even told you, I want to become a really kick-ass realtor and perfect this game and be really good before I start attracting agents. But I'm coming at a point where I have so many leads sitting in my database that I want people to come to EXP, join through our team so I can hand them over to you. I'm not joking. I'm going to say that plain blank, because I've literally ignored about 8 lease clients because I couldn't help them. I put out a social media post on our Humber sites. It's our Humber College is the institutional education for Ontario that teaches real estate right now. And I put out a message in separate Facebook groups saying, hey, if you're in EXP and have access to kvCORE, I will assign you leads, because I can't respond to these people and they're waiting.
It's incredible. And I love that you took the leap of faith to get, because in the States, EXP is very popular, but in Canada it's still very new. So, I'm excited because, even I've learned so much from talking to you in the last 25 minutes here, but you are such a great leader that at any other brokerage, people would have no other way to partner with you than to give away 50% of their commission. But the fact that now somebody in Chicago, Denver, Calgary, Vancouver, New Brunswick, any of Florida have the ability to look at you and say, hey, this is a girl that has her shit together. And I want that for my business. And now they have the ability to partner with you without giving anything away, I think is one of the most exciting things about this model. So I am beyond excited to see how your business continues to flourish. And I think the last thing I want to say, because I think I need to give a plug to you and your channel because of the fact that you're so well versed, what can people expect from you if they follow you on Instagram, but also start to check out your videos? What's going to happen throughout 2021? What can people expect from you this year with your content?
Absolutely. I think I'm trying to really streamline my YouTube content, my social media in a way, online content in a way that I'm attracting and giving value to clients, whether they're buyers and sellers, and particularly sellers, because I think that's where my niche is at. In particularly, I have an eye for marketing and really kick-ass strong branding materials like virtual tours and videos and photos. Not a lot of agents invest in that. I do. I don't care if your home is worth, if I'm putting it on listing for 100,000, I don't care. I will get you full professional photography. So I wanted to really give value to sellers and buyers on that end. And it's, again, being in the investor realm and being an investor, the language is different, the work is different. So I want to give value on that end to people that are getting into that market. And I also wanted to start venturing into helping new agents coming into the industry, and particularly agents like me who took a leap of faith in becoming, I'm a solo agent, Mike, I'm not part of a group. I have no one helping me. And that's why this brokerage was instrumental in where I am right now, because I was really nervous that I'm great at marketing. I'm going to attract a lot of people. And I have this amazing Wolfpack team that's giving me tons of ideas. But what am I going to do with these clients? How am I going to fill up paperwork? And I don't have a broker or, who's access to. But then this brokerage was awesome because I had a mentorship program that I literally have someone who I can text from my phone at my fingertip at 11 p.m. at night if I wanted to, right? And I think that was really key. And now I don't have to give away a big chunk of my commission off to somebody else, a team leader and another team, right? Which I'm doing all that work. I'm bringing in the clients. That's my commission, right? And one thing I do wanted to say is that having access to all these tools is nothing if you don't put them into action, right? And I think that's where I lean towards, is that it's hustle, right? Like at the end of the day, my realtor job, it really started off as a part-time gig, a side hustle, and now it took over and become this full-time, is really taking over. And it's because of the work that I put in. And I'm proud of that, really,
I think it's amazing. I'm proud of you. It's one of the first times, I think the first time I've ever done a video with somebody and be like, holy shit, this is like looking at myself in the mirror. It's incredible to see, you've done and not to say what I've done is the right thing, but I think, seeing the trajectory of my business, if you do something similar, I know you're going to do absolutely incredible. And I'm so excited to see, again, people be able to partner with you and learn from your immense strategies. So, you've done the blueprint, crystal clear, perfect example of what a new agent should do. And I'm super grateful that you decided to share that today. So any last words for people, all the new agents that are tuning in right now?
I'm going to blow you away with this content. So my first client that I mentioned that I attracted through one of my Facebook ads, he is retiring, and I sold his condo in Scarborough. And the crazy part is this person is leaving the country to go to Portugal to buy a property there and retire there. And I'm introducing him to an agent in Portugal through EXP. How kick-ass is that? And I'm getting a referral because of that. And that's my first client. And I double-ended that deal with a buyer that I brought in. Insane. And I'm proud, and I'm actually shocked at how things fell together when you put actionable and strategies into work.
And I think that's the perfect way to wrap this up, is that You just executed on what's proven to work. There's no secret sauce. No agent is ever going to reinvent the wheel. Look at what's been done, but actually execute on it consistently. And that's going to give you more than you could ever dreamed of. So Tharmila, incredibly grateful for the value that you shared. Again, guys, make sure you check out her content and reach out to you if you'd like to know more about how she's been doing these strategies and the ability to partner with her to get this information for your business. So again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you check out the channel. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.